going?
Good, Bubba. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Bubba, you guys are number one right now in special teams efficiency. What do you make of that, and where are some ways that you can get better as good as you've been so far?
I think we need to improve in the return game. You know, we're missing a few opportunities, and we're close. We're definitely close. Last year, whenever I was with, my old team, we started out a little slow too, and then we ramped it up. The second half of the season, end up leading the league in kick return. So I'm excited about our group moving forward, and we're definitely close on those units.
How do you improve that? Is it something technical? Is it just?
I think it honestly comes down to just having, time on task, repetition, in-game repetition. We didn't see a lot of those opportunities with the same group in the preseason. So I think that once you have that unit built and there's continuity within the group, you have more reps with each other, you're double teaming with the same player here and there, or over and over again, I should say. I think that the repetitions is what helps you get better. And then obviously the practice reps have definitely improved. So I think that that's a good thing for us.
DPJ, who will you have, who are your top candidates with DPJ gone to return?
Yeah, I mean, Elijah did it last week, so I thought he did a solid job. And then we have some young guys on the practice squad that, we'll continue to look at, but I thought Elijah did a solid job last week.
What ultimately led to that decision? I know you've been thinking about it, to put Elijah out there in that game.
Well, he did it in college, and I evaluated him when he was coming out of college. He's a natural catcher. He has good judgment, and he obviously has the ability to make you miss. So, I felt like we just needed, a little bit of a spark back there. Someone over.
Yeah, the couple of guys on the practice squad, I think they have the two new approach and Drake. They have some return history. Are those
Yeah.
two guys you're considering for those couple of spots?
Yeah, and then Jalen Darden also, did it for us against San Francisco. So those guys we're going to continue to get all those guys reps and making an evaluation, I guess you would say, or a decision at the end of the week. And it really plays off of other positions on the team, the health of our roster and things like that. So.
Is that one of the tough parts about being a special teams coordinator, Bubba? When injuries affect each unit, but they could really affect you, like indirectly. When, what I'm saying here, when a player is injured from
Sure.
another unit, then you have to make an adjustment.
Yeah, so like if we sustain an injury to, any position group and that guy plays offense or defense, right? The next guy up is really the guy that I've been using, so then we now need to find someone else to be able to play in those roles. So, yeah, at times it can be challenging, but like that's the name of the game. That's the job description. So, you got to figure it out, find a way. You do your best to use your personnel as best you can to match up against the opponent and give your guys the best chance to make plays. So, you always have to be able to adapt, especially in game. You sustain injuries within a game. We had some guys get nicked up in this past game, and we had some moving parts that we had to address, and we were able to get those adjusted.
Really
What's your
here.
kick return average do you want? Sorry, Dan.
Oh, it's good.
Honestly, like the average doesn't matter to me. It's more about the drive start. Especially in game. Over the course of a season, everybody ends up having a very similar drive start. It's small in regards to like, is it 25.1, 25.2? Like the average is always, because of touchbacks, it always just comes back to that number. But ideally, you'd like to have the drive start rather than the average, because not a lot of people are bringing the ball out from deep in the end zone. So if you have a 25-yard return, you bring it out from 5 deep, the ball's at the 20. So.
What's the drive start? 27, 28?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, each time we return the ball, the goal is to get it past the 25. So, I think we have been super close on a number of returns this year, and even in the Seattle game, if we make a block, we're probably out to the 50. So we're damn close.
You've probably worked with Pierre as much as anybody in this building. Have you seen him make some tackles for you? What is it about him that you like? I mean, he was so explosive when we saw him play offense on Sunday.
Yeah, so he was drafted to the Patriots. When in Indy, we liked him a lot. He can run. For me, like, that's one of the traits you obviously covet as a special teams coordinator is the ability to run. Like, speed is great, and position flexibility. He can do a lot of different things. He can play a lot of different positions. He even played some interior punt in New England in the preseason. He's played gunner for us. Obviously can handle the ball as a kick returner, plays on our kickoff coverage units at times. So, he's got great ability to do a lot of different things for us. So, he's been a great addition to the roster. It was a great move we made at the end of camp by AB.
Did you notice Seattle's field goal team heads up after what happened in Indy?
Say that again.
Seattle's field goal team, everybody's eyes up after what happened in Indy. Did you notice that?
It's probably the awareness will be there, the rest of the way. So
So that's a one-doner probably.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
In terms of scouting Arizona, Joey Blount, a couple weeks in a row, has made a big play, forcing a fumble, recovering it for them. When you look at his specific skill set, the way he's impacted plays, what stands out to you about him?
Yeah, he runs pretty well. He's impacted those plays really from the gunner position. He punches at the ball. Emphasis on securing the ball, especially on that unit with our returners. We're always number one priority is get the ball back to the offense. So catch it, secure it, make good decisions, get the ball back to the offense. So we'll have obviously we're always preaching ball security, to our entire team, offense, defense, and special teams.
The Cardinals had that onside kick last week. I'm just curious, when you coach that, do you tell your guys to try to catch it before it bounces? Because obviously, once that kick bounces,
Yeah.
crazy stuff. Like, is that one of the coaching points?
Yeah, so there's a number of different ways that you can coach that unit up. There's a number of different schemes as far as the recovery aspect of it goes. Some teams will play one recovery player to where they think the ball's going, which gives you a little bit more security inside. Now you're light opposite of that recovery player. Some teams will play two recovery players. Now you're lighter in some areas inside. So, so there's rules based on the types of kicks you're getting that we're trying to educate our guys every week on. Okay, if we get this kick, this is how we're treating it. If we get this kick, this is how we want to handle it. And that's obviously with the kick, with the recovery, and then obviously with the blocking portion of it as well. So.
That punt that you guys had from the 40 early in the fourth quarter, kicking from the Seattle 40.
Yeah.
Like, what's the goal there for Corey? Obviously, I know you want to avoid the touchback. So
Yeah.
fair catch at the 11, is that what you're looking for?
I think anything 10 inside the 10, like right at the 10, I'm content with that. Don't want to be. You obviously want to be aggressive in that situation to get the ball in to the 10 at least. But then there's that. You don't want to be too aggressive and get too much on it. That's not an easy ball to hit. I thought that he played it pretty well. Honestly, I thought he did. I thought he played it pretty well.
Do you want your guys to, sometimes you see the ball hit on the 4 or whatever, and they're waiting for it to bounce at the 1, then it goes in the end zone.
Yeah.
So do you want your guys to make sure that?
No, I would never want my guy to let the ball hit at the 4. You don't want to be at. How we coach our players is you don't want to be at the mercy of the bounce in a plus 50 situation. So ideally, if you're the gunner and the ball's about to hit, I would say unless you're truly in position with your butt, parallel and you're facing the opposite end zone, you don't want to let that thing hit inside the 8-yard line. If you can make a play on the ball at the 8, then we'd like to catch it in the air if we can. But yeah, we don't want to be at the mercy of the bounce. We want to be able to field the ball in the air if we can. I would say, inside the 10, you just don't know which way the ball is going to bounce, even if you're in position, so. Good. Thanks, guys. Yep.
because we're all trying to assess whether we thought Deshaun threw with better
What'd you
velocity
guys think?
yesterday.
What'd you think?
I thought a little bit.
Okay. I thought a little bit better too. Yeah, he looked better. He progressing. Yep. Always. Always. You know, and it's you know he does look better than he looked last time he threw in a practice, so that's positive.
Do you think he looks better than Friday for the Indy game?
Feels like it. You know, it's just naked eye, but yeah, I think he's feeling better.
After what you guys went through with Indy, what are you looking for specifically out of him to make the final decision that we feel comfortable that we can start?
That's probably a question more for Kev, but I think for a quarterback, you just want to be able to make all the throws. If there's anything that you still can't do, then, you know, but as long as you feel confident that you can make the throws down the field, short, accurately, you know, that's where we want to be.
Who's your new starting receiver?
Who is our new starting receiver? We're going to play by committee out there. We'll see who lines up out there first, but big shoes to fill. I mean, just hats off to Donovan. Sorry to see him leave, obviously, as a player and a person, but excited for his opportunity. You know, we'll have to have a couple guys fill those shoes. But
is this an opportunity for Tillman to see?
yeah, I think he's one of the guys that definitely will be in the mix there. You know, he'll find his way. It'll get him more involved than he has been in the past. You know, Marquise will be in there. We'll roll guys through that spot.
You haven't seen Tillman since training camp. What have you seen in these practices? Has he improved in any area, or?
Absolutely. You know, he's a guy that we were high on coming out of camp. Made a lot of plays in training camp for us. Made plays in the preseason, and then just starting to ease him back into it the last couple of weeks. Now this is going to accelerate that maturation for him. But big body, big target. You know, brings a lot in the run game as far as a force blocker. And then can make plays, contested plays, high point the ball, the things that he does well. So he'll definitely be more involved.
So Alex, after we had to leave yesterday, did Deshaun throw those balls downfield to your satisfaction? And
yes, he definitely. Yeah, we pushed some balls down the field for sure.
So what do you expect this to be another situation like the Baltimore game, where he goes out there before the game and then you decide if he can play?
I don't know if it'll come down to that long, but we'll see. You know, we're taking it day by day right now. Yesterday he put a good practice together. We'll see how it goes today, how he feels today, and we'll do the same with Friday and all the way up to Sunday. But feel better about where he is after yesterday's work.
When he gets challenging, this is week 6 of this, game 5 of week 6 of dealing with his injuries. So just how challenging has this been going through weeks where you're not sure who your starting quarterback is, and you're trying to get this offense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd love to have him out there. We'd love to keep him healthy the whole time and have him out there every game. But that's the reality of the NFL. You know, it's not just that position. Obviously, it's it's heightened when it's the starting quarterback. But we go through that at every other position all the time. We're always plugging guys in, next man up mentality, and that's across the board. Just it gets heightened when it's the QB.
How much does the fact that you guys have the Baltimore game and the Steelers game right after this one factor into your decision to play or not play Deshaun?
Yeah, I don't even know if that plays a role in it right now. We just we'll put a healthy Deshaun out when he's healthy and ready to go. Couldn't tell you when that'll be.
We're looking at the Cardinals. They seem to have a lot of different weapons that are productive. They are among the league's best in sacks, tackles for loss. When you're playing against a team that seems to have bullets flying from lots of different areas, does that make it more difficult for you to game plan?
Yeah, definitely. They're multiple in what they do, multiple personnel groupings, multiple coverages, structures. Their pressure package is good. So, yeah, it's definitely a week of preparation for us. They present you some different looks that you're not used to seeing. So, like every other week, you just got to dump out the bucket of stuff you learned the week before and refocus on this defense. And they do present you some challenges. But, I feel good after coming out of Seattle. Our communication was superb. Our operation was great. Had one false start in a bad spot. So, I feel like we're focused in right now. We're doing a great job of preparation during the week, and we'll be ready on Sunday.
We know how competitive Deshaun is and how he might have pushed himself a little bit to get back to Indy. What is your guys' strategy with him and knowing his personality, knowing he wants to be out there, to kind of hone him back in and say, hey, we got to take this step by step? How do you kind of do that with such a competitive person?
It's tough. I mean, it's tough. He doesn't want to hear that, for sure. But I think collectively, between AB and Kevin, they'll make a right decision with his input, obviously. But, we'll see how this week goes. Every day's a different day, and everything's been moving in the right direction this week. So.
Next man up, do you expect to have Dewan Jones?
He's dealing with something now, but I think he feels okay right at this point. We'll see again day to day with him, but I think he should have a chance.
With PJ, how do you, keep the aggressiveness and cut down on the interception?
It's such a fine line. It really is. The interception at the end there, that's a freak deal. Hits off a helmet, goes 50 feet in the air. The one we had earlier was kind of a combination of three different guys. We were a little late on a snap. We got edged in protection, had to move him off the spot. Dave kind of slowed down a hair. The ball flew a little bit, so that's a tough one. I'd like to get that back. But whatever it is, we talked about it in our team meeting on Wednesday when the guys came back, just the importance of the ball. We're terrible at it right now. I've been on teams where all you do is talk about ball security and all you do is turn it over. I've been on teams you never talk about it once, never do a drill, and you never turn it over. It's just that fine line. We just have to be hyper-focused, and when we're in traffic, whether it be in the pocket or with the ball in our hand down the field as a runner, we have to make sure we're doing everything we can with our fundamentals and our techniques to take care of the ball. Decision-making for the quarterback's a huge part of that as well. It's definitely something we've addressed. I feel like if we take the turnovers out of the games we've lost, we're going to at least be in a position to have a chance to win them. So we got to find a way to take care of the ball at all costs.
With David Njoku, seems like he's been more involved in the passing game lately. Was that like you guys make a concerted effort to do that? And why has he been able to have that?
Yeah, well, Dave's one of those guys where you want the ball in his hands. He's such a violent runner with his speed and his size. Any way we could find the ways to get him the ball and let him take off is something, obviously we're going to highlight our marquee players, and Dave would be one of those.
You talked about on that interception, he slowed down a little bit. PJ said that after the game. Is that the right decision to slow down because the guy's sitting there, or does he just have to keep running through?
Yeah, that's a keep running route for him. We stay on the move on that route. Again, it was a culmination of a couple different factors on that play, but there's points there in the red zone that we would like to have had, So we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. We're playing good offensive football. I do feel that. I do feel like the guys were productive in the run game last week. We did a great job with our operation. We had a lot of different motions and shifts in a crowded environment, noisy. So I'm really proud of the way those guys prepared. I think we're close. I think we just need a game with a clean slate on the turnover side, and we'll feel better.
When it comes to that, you guys had such a successful screen game. I mean, how much do you guys work that? It sounds like you guys working a ton. Is it more than other places you've been?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think Coach Callahan's technique and the way he teaches it, we practice it, every day in a certain segment of practice. So it's something that we've been good at here in our 4 years together, and it's a strength of ours. The touchdown to Dave really was a design off of our screen game. So we showed screen to both sides to try to pull the linebackers, and it's an old play. It's been around forever, but when you screen well, you get those kind of responses. Then you can counter back with the kind of change up off of your screen game. So, yeah, we do put time in it. We pride ourselves in being a great screen team, and it was very productive in Seattle. So.
I know people always say, like, it takes all 11 on every play, but is that truly one of those plays where it really takes all 11
Absolutely.
guys?
It's taught that way. Since day one since we've been here, we've emphasized screens, and we practice screens, and we're pretty good at them. And then what else does it do? It slows down the pass rush. Is this a screen? I don't know. It could be. So now you're rushing Dave as a blocker, and you're not sure if he's going to screen you or block you. So it definitely helps. It all comes together in the scheme of things.
You got 155 yards out of your three running backs Sunday in Seattle. Just how do you feel that rotation is going with those three? I know Kareem was a little frustrated. He didn't get any touches
Sure.
there in that fourth quarter. But just where are you at with this run game?
Really, it's by committee right now. Everybody's going to get their touches. I see all those guys as 1A, 1B. They could all come in and be productive, which they've shown. That was our plan last week going in, with Jerome coming off of the injury, not sure he was going to make it, so we just wanted to put him in on third downs early, see how he felt, and then know that we could get him the ball in the fourth quarter with fresh legs. So that's kind of how that thing unfolded, but really impressed with all the guys. Kareem right now is running extremely hard. He had some great runs that weren't there and got 3 yards. And stuff that we had free rushers. So really proud of the way he's running with the physicality. Pierre has the speed and the vision. He can get on the edge. Did some good things in the wide zone game as far as the perimeter game as well. And then Jerome's just, that's, the sweet feet where he can cut on a dime and make the move. So really, losing Nick was big. It took a lot of feet to fill his shoes. So we're just going to keep rolling with the guys and really happy with all of them right now.
Some bad luck on that third 3 call, the third 3 interception. How did you feel about that call? Like, what was the discussion there during that timeout? And then is there anything PJ could have done differently, obviously, to not throw it off?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they brought the pressure. They brought it in the B gap to the throw side, and he elevated up and got it. It's a day one installation play. Oftentimes you just think of players not at plays in those situations and trying to get Amari the ball. In that situation on a day one installation, double slant with a drag slant to the other side. It's day one install for a million offenses. It was just a core play. Just unfortunate it happened, but I was totally good with the play call. PJ was on board. Wouldn't second guess that. If that's a completion or an incompletion, it's a different ballgame.
MVP, how about Nick Harris's skill set? What you must trust about his athleticism to put him out there as a fullback in situations that may not necessarily be screaming, hey, we're going to run the football here.
Yeah, very talented, very, very athletic. Very fleet of foot, get around blocks. He can do a lot of things. Like his ability to lead coming out of the backfield. Can help us in protection as well in certain schemes. But he's a guy that can do it all. Really can't wait to see him catch a pass soon. But he has a really unique skill set, and we're trying to find more ways to use him. It'd be a good one, right? Double screen away, then back to Nick late. I like that. We'll put that in. All right, guys, thank you. Appreciate it.
Texan, yeah. I was thinking for a second, I'm like, where are you going with that?
I didn't watch as much of that series as
I did not. After the Orioles got bounced, I abstained. Other stuff. Okay. Thank you very much.
If you don't have Greg, how well has he been playing in the slot for you this season so far? And do you feel good about Cam or whoever else will play?
Yeah, Cam's had to come in and play for us in the past. He's been reliable to do his job. Come in some situations where he hasn't got a lot of practice reps and gone in. And if he has to play this week, he'll have gotten a lot of practice reps. And I think I'll stay in my theme of evaluating all our players as 4 and 3.
You mentioned, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, how you weren't pleased with the red zone defense, and then obviously gave up some more touchdowns against Seattle. What do you see that's not getting done down there that you think needs to be done?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we have to stop people from running the ball across our goal line. If we're going to take pride in being a physical defense, that starts with run defense. And, it gets accentuated in the red zone. The field shrinks a little bit, and we have to do a better job of stopping the run. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Does it matter to you who plays quarterback for them? 2 guys who haven't played all year?
Well, yeah. It matters who's playing, who's playing left guard. It matters who's playing wide receiver. We're going to take it all into consideration. I think that, we have 8 games of their offense on film. And with Dobbsy running it, they ran a lot of quarterback runs, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's anything different with Kyler Murray if he plays. And I would expect, if the rookie plays, for them to, stay with what they've done. I don't imagine that they would change entire game plan just for one guy. I think there was a reason that they wanted to fit Dobbs into that role. So, we're going to look at the scheme. We're going to take into account players' individual strengths and weaknesses as we put our scheme together. But we'll be ready, whatever they decide to do.
He's a big guy. Does he run the same stuff?
Well, he didn't in the preseason. They ran the offense, but he didn't run a lot of the quarterback runs. But a lot of teams don't run those quarterback runs in the preseason, right? Well, they have it. They have a lot of stuff on tape from the first 8 games, and so we're going to prepare for that scheme, and then we're going to prepare for the individual talents of players. So Toon played a lot in the preseason, threw a lot of passes, so we have pretty good evaluation of that stuff, and we have, like I said, we have 8 games of what they do on offense, and we just got to melt those together if that's the guy. If it's another guy, then, we have to melt it together with the individual strengths and weaknesses of that player, so.
How good was the Murray's first interception on tape, and just how good has he been for you guys this year?
Yeah, Mo's been, I don't want to say a pleasant surprise because he's been a good player. He had a setback with injuries the last few years, and, and had a hard time getting started in training camp because of some injuries. But now that he's healthy, he's really made good strides. He's attacked before. He was with San Fran, so he's played in the scheme before. So his development probably a little bit ahead of some other guys that have never done it before. Gives us some pass rush, and that was just a really outstanding play. We sort of sandwiched really good play with really poor play. We started off the first 3 series, and we had a lot of fires to put out. We made a few adjustments, and we sort of found our stride, and we went 7 series of playing about as good a defense as you can play, like punt, punt, interception, punt, punt, interception, punt. And then it was just so disappointing to leave it there at the end of the game. Our offense needed us the most right there after an interception. They needed us the most, and we didn't get the job done. So we feel a tremendous responsibility for that. But if the more plays we can make like Mo made, and an interesting thing with that, he had never practiced that position. We had some injuries with Zadarius and some other guys, and we had sort of mix and matched our defensive line guys, and he went in and at most he had gotten mental reps on that blitz, but went in and executed it really well, and then athletically made a really good catch. But we need more of that. We need more of that middle of the game. We can't be a feast or famine defense. That's not a way to play. That's not a way to play defense. And our run game was feast and famine too. We played, most of our snaps really good in the run game, but then we gave up 3 big plays in the run game, and that's not going to get it done. That's not where we want to be. That's not where we need to go to take this team where we want to go.
You weren't getting any turnovers. You were worried that if you start going for them, that's what you don't want to see. So now you're getting the turnovers and the tackling is falling off. Did you fall victim to what you feared?
No, not in those cases, Tone. I mean, like Mo was doing his job in the scheme. MJ was doing his job in the scheme, playing really good technique. But I think you did see some examples of that. Some of the gaps in our run game were us chasing boots, and our eyes got distracted. Instead of doing our job in the run game, we were trying to make a sack, and hard to get a sack on a run play. So so I think that we have had to guard against that, and I think that there is there's a fine line between doing your job and then trying to do too much. And we've talked about that ad nauseum in here and everywhere else. If we just do our job, if we just be us the best that we can be, the plays will come to us. We don't need to hunt plays, and we can make those. I was disappointed in the game that we missed 2 or 3 sacks, I think that really could have changed the complexion of that game. And we can't now change personality because we missed those sacks. We just got to finish those plays when they come up next time, as opposed to trying to do something different. And I think that it's probably a tale as old as time, from Pee Wee to high school to college to NFL. Where playing your job and letting the plays come to you, as opposed to trying and not it's not like our guys trying to play outside the scheme or anything else. It's, all right, I see this split, this is what route's coming, and instead of anticipating and playing your technique, all of a sudden you can jump things a little too much, and then you end up with feast or famine football. But for the most part, I don't think that was the thing in this game. We just had a hard time getting started. Took us a few series to really find some footing. We changed an awful lot in those first 3 series, and I was really proud of the guys because they really found their footing. But then the way we ended that game was extremely disappointing for all of us.
About that, the starts. Highsmith, I know from the Steelers, got that 1 touchdown, but still, you guys are giving up more points in the first quarter than any other quarter. So, do you have an explanation for that, or what can be done to get better starts?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at a lot of ways. Maybe we make really good adjustments. Yeah, we talk about starting fast, but you're going to have things when a game's new that an offense is doing something maybe a little bit different, and we have to make adjustment to what that is. I think in those first series, we just have to play our technique and our responsibility, and if we do that our message is that's enough. If we do those things, so there's always. I mean, the game is 60 minutes long. Seasons now are 17 plus weeks. There's going to be a lot of adjustments and ebbs and flows of a season, right? There's going to be things that an offense does that try to take advantage of what you do, and then the defense takes countermeasures, and then the offense. I mean, that's a constant thing throughout a season, but also throughout a game. But yeah, we need to start better. We need to start faster, and we need to stop the run. In the games that we've stopped the run, we played really well. In games that we've been leaky in the run game, whether it was this last one giving up a few big plays, or a game like the Colts where we just gave up a lot of smaller gains, but we didn't control the run game. Baltimore, we didn't control the run game. When we control the run game, good things happen for us on defense, and that's our focus.
Hetzing, knowing your personnel so well, and then Jonathan Gannon having taken over for you in Philadelphia and probably knowing a lot of the nuances of your scheme. Do you just do what you do, or do you have to change up some of your looks and fronts to kind of cross them up a bit?
Well, he was here too, so we have a lot of experience in our building with him too. So that probably works both ways. I'm sure all my playbooks were on the server when I left Philadelphia. But, people change terminology. They, adapt to their players. What we're doing now is probably about maybe 40 or 50% different than what we did in Philadelphia. Not just because we have different players, but because the league goes through ebbs and flows and, different things like that. So, and we also have a significant number of different faces on defense. So, when it's all said and done, it might help with a little bit of preparation, might make our preparation a little bit easier at times. But when it comes down to it, it's Sunday. It's going out and performing and executing and playing, physical and playing with effort and playing with some passion for the game.
That's why you were in not being able to get that last stop after the interception. What did you identify as what was the biggest issue?
Yeah, well, it was the one play missing a tackle. They throw a short pass. We end up in zone on that play, and we had played a good technique in the zone to force them to throw a 3 or 4 yard and then missed tackle, and that put them in field goal range. And then all of a sudden they're in field goal range, and the game completely changes. So that's probably, and the exact same thing happened to us in San Fran. San Fran was man, right? But it got a completion, and when we're going to do some more stuff in some 2-minute situations in practice. you know, and just add to our periods a little bit more, because when the game's on the line like that, we have to perform better.
All right, guys.